Welcome to the weekly wrap, only on KENS 5 Plus. I'm your host, Audrey Gasolano. Let's get you to some of the biggest stories of the week. At number 5 in our countdown, new numbers are in for the Texas School Voucher Program. More than 160,000 students have applied so far. Here's a look at the numbers in some of our local districts. More than 4,100 students have applied in Northside, nearly 3,400 in Northeast, 2,100 in Comal, 1,300 in SAISD, and 1,100 in Judson ISD. Families have until March 17th to apply for the voucher. Eligible families may receive up to $10,400 in public funds to go towards private school tuition. At number 4 in our countdown, more than 300 TSA workers have left the agency in the nearly 4 weeks since a partial government shutdown began. And that's according to a CBS News review of internal TSA statistics. Tens of thousands of TSA employees have been working without pay since Congress failed to reach a deal on Department of Homeland Security funding. Long lines and high worker call-outs also continue to plague airports around the country. And at number 3 in our countdown, oil and gas prices are up once again as a war against Iran continues to endanger supplies. AAA reports the national average is more than $3.50 a gallon. Gas Buddy predicts the cost will jump another 20 to 50 cents next week. The White House has tried to downplay rising gas prices as temporary, but questions remain about the timeline of the conflict and endgame. All right, turning to your health, who doesn't want to live a long and happy life? And obviously, having good genes does help a lot. But as KENS 5's Jeremy Baker reports, how well you age largely depends on you and how well you take control of your health.
This year, I'll be turning the big 50. And like many of you watching this story, making sure our bodies are in the best shape possible needs to be top of mind so we can keep doing the things we desire for decades to come.
We want to age successfully, and investing more time in our balance, stability, and mobility means that our portfolio is changed for longevity and health span.
Let's start with balance, something that's harder to control as we age.
But as we get older, because we lose the practice of our neuromuscular system and our spatial awareness, if we do not practice balance and stability, we're going to do a face plant, and nobody wants that.
Avoiding falls is a must to keep away chronic injury.
Spatial awareness, number one, before you move, but then when you move, remember where is my center of gravity and how am I leaning to prevent falls.
To improve your balance, try these at-home exercises. A single leg stance using a chair for support, a tandem stance, standing with one foot directly in front of the other, holding for 30 seconds, and calf raises where you stand behind a chair and rise up your toes, holding before lowering back down.
We're talking about a lifelong physical portfolio.
Johns Hopkins has these tips to help you age in a healthy way. Be more active more often. Improve your diet with nutrient-rich foods. Get quality sleep to aid your memory, emotions, and your appearance. And avoid smoking to lower your risk of heart disease. And don't forget to challenge your brain to keep it active. What you eat is a big factor too.
With the protein that they need, healthy carbs that are going to not affect their blood sugar as much.
For more tips to help you live a longer and healthier life as you tick off the years, just head to the story on KENS5.com. In the studio, Jeremy Baker, KENS 5.
Some good tips there. All right, the weekly wrap is back after this.
Go ahead. Take a look at the faces of San Antonio Zone. When you look into their eyes, you see passion, you see hard work, you see familia. Generations of people who embody a rich culture of respect, honor, and originality. We're all in San Antonio, but more importantly, San Antonio is in us. It's what makes us special. It's why we're proud to be San Antonio's own.
A broken vehicle fixed after 5 months of no help.
KENS 5 made it 100% better.
A busted windshield fixed after getting the runaround from a contractor.
And you guys did it. Y'all were amazing.
A much-needed tax refund this man couldn't access. Yep, fixed.
KENS 5 actually helped me out quite a lot, actually.
Have a consumer problem you can't solve? Call KENS. Weekdays at 6 on KENS 5.
Got a problem? Call KENS. They will solve the problem.
My name is Sue Kalberg, and I am a journalist for KENS 5 for 22 years. I think it's been an awesome privilege to be able to work in the town that I grew up in. My uncle, Rex Stanley, was the very, 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 very first guy hired at KENS 5. From the beginning, I said, you can get paid for that. Let me in. It fills my heart to be a part of the KENS family, because the KENS family is the San Antonio family. I am San Antonio's own Sue Kalberg.
We want to get you breaking news right now.
Here, let me show you the police activity. New insight into a deadly police shooting.
We just got an update from fire officials. We'll continue to keep you updated.
Stream extended coverage, live or on demand, right here on KENS 5 Plus.
Welcome back to the Weekly Wrap. Let's get back to our countdown. At number 2, the woman accused of firing multiple rounds at Rihanna's Los Angeles home is now facing attempted murder charges. Prosecutors say 35-year-old Ivana Ortiz drove from Florida to California before allegedly opening fire at Rihanna's home on Sunday with a semi-automatic rifle. Police say 10 people were inside the home at the time, but no one was hurt. Ortiz also faces multiple assault charges. She's due in court March 25th. A North San Antonio couple was furious when CPS Energy transferred a $1,400 balance to their electric bill. After 2 months without a solution, the couple finally called KENS 5's Andrew Moore for help.
Catherine Capel and her husband said they nearly had a panic attack after they saw an extra $1,400 added on to their CPS Energy bill, and they said the utility wouldn't fix it. But after KENS 5 got involved and contacted CPS Energy's media representatives, this got fixed within 24 hours.
We were disgusted. We couldn't believe it.
Catherine and Blaine Capel didn't know what to think when CPS Energy transferred this balance onto their bill in December. The Capels thought it had to be a mistake or fraud.
It was not us.
But Blaine says CPS put the responsibility on them to prove it.
They suggested that we have to prove that's not our account that's being transferred.
The couple then quickly went to the police and hoped either CPS Energy or SAPD would look into it. But then they got a notice in late February saying they would have to pay the whole thing.
They put us on a delinquent notice.
So they called KENS 5. KENS 5 contacted CPS Energy's media representatives and alerted them that an elderly couple was being charged $1,400 for something that very much looked like fraud. And then, when the couple called CPS Energy the next day, the utility confirmed it was fraud and the delinquent balance was gone.
I am so happy that you did that and you explained to them.
CPS Energy later sent KENS 5 a response that simply said, CPS Energy has talked to the customer and resolved the issue.
They finally did something about it.
The couple is relieved to not have to pay that balance after all, and they're glad they called KENS 5.
If we wouldn't have called you, KENS, to help us, we would have still been in this situation.
And KENS 5 did then ask CPS what other people should do if they find themselves in a similar situation. We will have their latest response at KENS5.com. For Call KENS, Andrew Moore, KENS 5.
Glad they were able to get that resolved. All right, the Weekly Wrap, back after this.
Go ahead. Take a look at the faces of San Antonio Zone. When you look into their eyes, you see passion, you see hard work, you see familia. Generations of people who embody a rich culture of respect, honor, and originality. We're all in San Antonio, but more importantly, San Antonio is in us. It's what makes us special. It's why we're proud to be San Antonio's own.
Talked to this police officer, and she told me to call KENS 5.
Every week, KENS 5 is looking out for San Antonio's own.
The next day after you left, they sent a professional AC guy, and my AC's working now.
If you've been wronged by someone,
it was shocking. Clearly something went wrong.
Or a business,
I couldn't believe it was happening.
Just call KENS. Weekdays at 6, only on KENS 5.
I got my vehicle back. I'm rolling again, so call KENS 5 to help you if you need help too.
Born and raised on the northwest side of San Antonio, Texas. Generations of my family have been from this part of Texas. I have Fiesta roots. I have Spurs roots. I have Texas Fighter roots. Played basketball at Clark. Basketball was a huge part of my life for 16 years. My comfort dish, a plate of chilaquiles with salsa verde. I grew up watching Ken's 5. I am who I am because of this beautiful city. I hope that they can find a sense of pride knowing that their creation is helping deliver them the most important news of the day. I'm Alicia Nieves, and I'm proud to be from this beautiful city.
If you want a meal that will make you say,
So good!
That is fantastic.
catch Neighborhood Eats, where we find the best local restaurants. Streaming now on Kens 5 Plus.
Welcome back to the Weekly Wrap. You know, the people of South Texas, they love their elote, whether it's roasted over a grill or served up in a cup. It really is a staple right here in San Antonio. And one man decided to add his own spin. Ken's 5's Axel Davino takes us to Eloditos Corn Bar in the Deco District.
I don't know why people say that we're supposed to be authentic. It's just impossible to be authentic when you're not in Mexico.
You can get flights of beer, flights of mimosas, even flights of coffee. But what if I told you you can get a flight of corn in the cup here at Elotito's Corn Bar?
If you're from South Texas, an elote isn't an unfamiliar sight. A tried and true snack, so simple, but yet so delicious. Owner of Elotitos, Jesus Arriaga, has been serving the people of San Antonio their cravings for corn since 2020.
I've always had the idea of having a business and not necessarily something in the cornfield. That's how Elotitos was born, just out of seeing that the city was missing something like this. So I wanted to start a business where we could celebrate a snack that we all love.
Elotitos lets you customize your elote to your own personal liking. Whichever one you decide, it's sure to make you feel some type of way.
I've had so many stories of people say, well, you know, I can't go back to my home country and I can't go back to my city, or I haven't been able to visit, but this is the best version of that.
Jesus made us his special combo, the Elotitos para dos.
I feel like this plate is screaming South Texas.
So it's La Paloma. It's going to be our best seller. It has a little bit of cream, mayo, Parmesan cheese, queso fresco, and that one's the white corn, so it's the Mexican imported corn. It's like cannibalism over here. And I love the sweetness of the yellow corn and the saltiness of the hot Cheeto and the chili powder. So yeah. I feel like it just brings it all together, yeah.
Now, if you can't decide which cup you want, Hakuna Matata, because Elotitos offers a flight of corn with up to 5 of their flavors, so you can eat knowing you're not missing out.
The flight really just made sense because normally they have tequila flights or, you know, bourbon flights. And I said, let me see if anybody's doing a corn flight. And indeed, nobody did. I feel like it's such a Texan thing for a place that has, you know, more than 14 flavors of corn in their menu, for them to offer some type of flight.
One bite from Elotito's Corn Bar will have you shucked and smiling ear to ear. For Neighborhood Eats, I'm Axel Davino.
Wow, looks delicious. All right, and at number 1 in our countdown to wrap it all up, President Trump has signaled he thinks the war with Iran will end soon. The U.S. military says it has struck more than 5,500 targets inside Iran, including more than 60 ships. Central Command also says the U.S. destroyed at least 16 Iranian mine-laying vessels on Tuesday near the Strait of Hormuz, a key waterway for the passage of about 20% of the world's oil supply. The U.S. and other nations in the International Energy Agency says they will release 400 million barrels from their strategic petroleum reserves. The president says the U.S. will tap 172 million barrels starting next week. Meanwhile, the Pentagon says 140 service members have been injured, 8 severely. That's in addition to the 7 U.S. troops killed since the war began. Of course, we'll continue to follow that story and all your other top headlines. Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of the Weekly Wrap, only on Kens 5 Plus. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.